Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Ozcast.
Fortunately for them, their DJ neighbour Matt Burgess couldn't sleep.
My night, Jarrod Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages. Oh, mate. Jarrod, I love him. He's a great guy.
Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe, it's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
Who knows what round it is? I think it's 22 or 23 maybe.
It's the best we've ever done. I can't believe we've come this far in 2020. One of the best things to happen in 2020 is the fact that we have consistently released a podcast.
So consistent. Anyway, Jarrod, how are you?
I'm doing well, mate. I'm a little bit flat this week after some feedback that I received about the podcast.
Oh, no.
It was more to do with the fact that I couldn't say the word podcast. I called it podcast.
You haven't filled me in, so this is new to me as well.
Yeah, and I think we should get to it straight from the top before we introduce Andy.
Okay.
From Ozcast Network. So thanks to Con from Brighton Trophy Centre. He's still with us.
He is still with us, yeah. Actually, he took it really well. He said it was hilarious and he hadn't stopped laughing and... Yeah, he took it well. So good on you, Con.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, obviously Australia Post is on strike, or they've all been stood down because we are yet to receive our bigger trophy from you, Con, to say sorry. But no, we really appreciate your support. So before we get into another big round of Best Team Men, this is the feedback I received about the podcast. And this was 2 days ago at Peak, the gym that I go to. And Steve the Pirate, Stavros, the physio, he's a big fan of the podcast. I was going to put him on the plaque this week, but no, I'm going to hold off for a week.
Not now.
I'm going to suspend him Jack Hudson style.
He's back too this week, Hutto. He's back in the frame.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The multi was very close. So Steve the Pirate, Stavros, comes up to me. He's a great man, good physio, looks after your mental health as well. And he goes, mate, I tell you what, I have not laughed as much as I did in the last episode of the podcast, the last round. He absolutely loved it. He said he was in stitches, which is great. And the feedback that we got was brilliant. He said, you know what, mate? I reckon the best thing about the podcast is that Andy guy. So we get Andy Martin from Ozcast on for one round, and he's the highlight. So this is what I think we should do. Matty, and we haven't discussed this.
No.
We haven't discussed this.
Okay.
I think if he's keen, we need to make Andy Martin one of the best team men.
A permanent member.
I'm keen to sign him up. Andy, here is a contract.
Here's a contract.
Will you sign up to the best team men?
It's a good contract. It's good.
Do you reckon I should? Yeah, I reckon you should.
Yeah, my manager says
Welcome aboard, Andy.
Thank you very
Martin.
much.
It's basically like we've got someone who doesn't train. He has limited ability when it comes to sport. We're like, mate, we need someone to fill in this week. Can you do that, mate? Look, you don't even have to register. Just come and play. It doesn't even matter if you can't kick the foot. He's like, yeah, I'm in. Then he kicks a bag of goals.
Yeah.
We're like, we are signing you up.
You are in.
I'm literally the Pete Hellier of the project.
That's great to have you on board, mate. We literally got lots of feedback of how everybody loved you.
Yeah.
Glenn Hawke said it was great. So we feel we don't pump ourselves up because we're losers, and we love the fact that we are, but we feel we're in a really good space with our podcast at the moment because we're just having a bit of fun. We enjoy each other's company. It's not fake. We don't manufacture anything apart from people who buy our T-shirts.
Us now, though.
Yeah, it's good to have you on board, mate.
Thank you. I listened to the episode actually 3 times last week.
That's awesome.
Get the stats up, but also
Yeah,
the fact it was good. Yeah.
It's like when I release a song, I'll just put it on repeat one, turn the volume down, and it just plays for 3 weeks.
Well, here's a trick, right, for that, and also podcast listeners around the world. If you are doing a podcast or you have some sort of Spotify thing going on with your artistic stuff, there are apps out there where you can pay them to do things. So that there's been
like a bot.
No. Like, is it Airtasker?
Airtasker, yes.
So you can actually, this is one that I've heard before, where you can pay some people in whatever country you want to hit it up on, right? And they'll go to stores and go to your JB Hi-Fis, to your Apple stores and stuff, and go to the demo versions of all the phones and the laptops, and they'll press play for your stuff. So you get some sweet stats, and you could be big in Spain if you wanted to. So there you go.
Well, I'm glad you raised that, because we'll get to your sporting background in a second, because the way that we introduced ourselves initially when it came to Best Team Men was talking about our limited sporting ability, but you are a champion. You beat a country once, which we'll get to. Speaking of the statistics and podcast stuff, you actually raised, Matty, about the podcast statistics and where this podcast ranks, because we don't take it too seriously. I mean, we don't look at the podcast rankings too specifically and go, oh, well done, we are number 100 in the world. Like, we know that we've got a nice little community of members that listen to us.
Yeah, and it's personal for them as well. You know, they feel part of it, because we're not out there exposing ourselves to... Well, anyone, which is good, but the podcast.
There was that one time.
Exposing the podcast, you know.
That's
so we keep it tight-knit.
We're inclusive. We like to talk about our members. We give them shout-outs if they want to shout out, even if you are like Jack Hudson, who throws up probably the worst suggestion for a multi. We embrace it. And I think... it's nice to hear your name said back, like you hear your name on the radio. So people call up radio stations. You go, it's nice to hear myself back. That's right. We have appeared on some sort of table of rankings of podcasts, though, right?
We have. So our friends at the Press Box, very good at pumping up their own tyres, the boys. They put up a little image on their Twitter saying that they were number 5 in Australia. Or their podcast ranked number 5.
And we should say good luck. Have you got an applause? Give them a round of applause. Just press one of them, Andy. I don't know.
So they were number 5 in Australia. Okay.
In what category?
Sports news.
South Australian sports paced podcast where one of the hosts looks like Snuffleupagus. Nope.
Yep. See, only you can say that because only you know.
And I've got a massive bloody Reese Conker as well. Yeah,
Reese Conker. Yeah. So they're number 5, sports news. Anyway, it got me thinking. I wouldn't mind jumping onto this website and seeing where we rank in amongst, you know, what we do and our peers and all that sort of stuff. So I've jumped on this site, and you can actually search the podcast name, so it makes it easier to find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Jumped on, punched in Best Team Men, thinking, these blokes are number 5. You know, we're going to be top 20 at least.
And there's no other podcast called Best Team Men, right? We're the only one.
We're the only one. So I thought we're going to be top 20 here at least. We didn't feature in the sports category. Well, we
don't really talk sport
in general. But, however, we were number 49 on the Canadian cricket list.
Oh, yes!
We were number 35 on the German cricket list.
We are building. Yeah.
And to finish off, we were number 34 on the French cricket playlist.
Oh, we
play.
That's the best.
And to that point, we'd never actually spoken cricket.
No.
On the podcast.
Or about Germany or France. Or anything. That's amazing.
Can I explain it to you?
Please do.
Well, as long as it doesn't ruin the fantasy.
No. So when the back end of podcast platforms, you're able to put in categories of your particular podcast, right? So you would come under sports, and then you can put, NRL, NBA, AFL, whatever.
Branch off.
Yeah, you can branch off into subcategories. So basically, there's an error with your RSS feed at the moment, where Apple is.
What does that mean?
What?
Sorry. We're just nodding away like we know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's the RSI feed? Oh, it's a CNN one, yeah?
Hello, I've gone into nerd mode. RSS stands for really simple syndication. So it means that So it means that
the process tells you otherwise.
It's where we syndicate your podcast everywhere to the Apple, iTunes, Spotify, all the platforms. Yeah. So in our back end, where we put in our categories, the first category is sports, right?
He's warming to it, isn't he?
I know, this is his moment.
Can't wait to be on that plaque. So the first category, sports, isn't actually registering with Apple iTunes at the moment. Right. So what it has come up with is cricket, which was the second category on your list. So there you go.
I love that. I think it's great. And what we're finding, and we talk about this most weeks, whatever happens to us as a podcast of now 3, which is great, if it's crap and it doesn't make sense, that fits our brand. And we love
It
that.
absolutely does. Yeah.
The fact that we are in the top 50 in cricket podcasts in Germany, like,
that's great.
I mean, that should be our Twitter bio.
I'm going to make it my personal
I think
bio.
you should, like, podcast number 37 or whatever on cricket in Germany.
And Canada and France, of all places.
I think that's great.
I can see it on a T-shirt and your merchandise
Don't
store.
talk T-shirts. We don't talk about
I will
T-shirts.
buy plenty.
All right, now tell us about your sporting background, Andy. Matty and I are real battlers when it comes to sport, but you're a champion.
Yeah. And that's all you need to know.
That is it.
I was a water sports guy, so I grew up through surf clubs and in the pool, basically. And my probably claim to fame, which Kyle Chalmers didn't really think it was good, was one state titles. We had Japan come and visit, and they raced against us, but it was never, against the points, basically. So I beat Japan in my race. So there you go.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Did I say that to Kyle Chalmers?
Yeah, you did. You're like, hey, this is Andy. He beat Japan once. And Kyle's like, oh, really? Oh, cool. And then he walked away.
This is Kyle Chalmers, who's just come back from winning gold medals.
We were holding his medal. And
That's
you're
right,
like, yeah, Andy beat Japan.
Yeah, Kyle's thinking, what the fuck am I doing? I'm sitting in the middle of Titanium Security Arena. The Adelaide 36ers are warming up around me, and I'm talking to Jarrod and a guy who says he beat Japan.
Who does not look like he beat Japan.
Yeah, unless it was in an eating contest.
Yeah. Hey, mate, I can eat plenty of sushi, you know what I'm saying? I can eat them under the table.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you on board. So, the multi, now you were here when we spoke about the multi last week, and we've had 2 weeks of multis where I'm not a gambler. I don't understand it. Like, Matty, I thought about this on the weekend, and I'm not a professional gambler like yourself. So, how long have multis been around for?
The same game multi, like, it's definitely picked up momentum in
Is there any chance you're going to talk directly into the microphone at all during this podcast?
I don't know how much more directly I can be. I'm basically eating it, right? Look, they've built up, and they're a lot bigger now in the last couple of years than they probably were 4 or 5 years ago. So
Right. So I'm yet to work out the smart way to do them. So the game we had a couple of weeks ago, Port GWS, we got one leg right, didn't we? 1 leg out of 7 or whatever?
No, we got 2 out of 7, which were both our legs.
Right, okay. And the one which is just gone, you need to get the dings and the buzzers ready for this, Andy, because we had Adelaide versus St Kilda on Monday at Adelaide Oval. Now, we'll get to the one that we put in maybe at the end, because a couple of legs got up really early, and I was sitting on the couch getting ready to play Masters hockey. By the way,
How excited were you?
the game was 9 o'clock at Golden Grove.
Ooh.
Horrific.
Outdoor.
PM, mate.
What?
It was just, you drive there and you go, what am I doing with my life?
And on a Monday night.
Monday night,
Were you driving home at midnight?
pretty much.
Fuck.
It was just such a waste. And you lose as well. It's like that time when you don't drive that far away and come away with a loss, because it just makes you question everything in life. So I broke up with my missus. We're all done. So
Hang on, actually, before we get to that, quite the opposite. You're expecting.
Oh, yeah.
congratulations.
Oh, thanks, guys. Have you got sound effect? No. Yeah, thanks. No, it's and it's funny because, like, I can say the reasons why I've been late here now for the past 3 months,
There
which
you
just
go.
gives you a
Makes
reason.
sense.
But it's
You've been trying.
I haven't been trying. It's weird, mate. I think we tried once. I've got super sperm. It's unbelievable. But I think it's
Years of gym supplements.
you reckon that's what it is.
That is buff sperm.
Yeah, I know.
It's not working for me.
Yeah, those estrogen tablets being taken.
That was a joke.
Tell you what, mate, but you've got a beautiful set of breasts.
Yeah, I actually do.
Okay, all right. So, no, thank you guys. It's very exciting. And it's weird because I was trying to, last week in the round where I was talking about seeing girls get opportunities playing sport.
Yeah.
At that point, obviously, I knew that we're having a baby, and I was even more excited because we're having a girl to see. Like, I love the fact that I'm going to have 2 daughters. You've got 2 daughters now, Andy, as well. Like, it's just, I reckon once you have one daughter, this may not make sense, but just go with me here. Men, traditionally, as their first kid, want a boy. That's just ingrained into you. A lot of guys just want to have a son, I think. As soon as you have a daughter, that changes completely, and you go, it is amazing having a daughter. I think if we had a son first, I would have really, 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 really wanted a daughter second. And if we didn't, I would have been like, But the fact I know how awesome having a daughter is, having another one just makes it even more special.
I reckon there's a thing in people that work in radio near transmitters only have daughters. And it's very rare that they have sons because most of the people at Nova, they've had daughters.
Yeah. Okay. So that's when she's going to be. Anyway, who cares? I'm having a kid. Great. Well done.
Congratulations.
The great thing is I don't have to sit and watch her playing cricket every Saturday unless she decides to play for the South Australian Scorpions, who I really, really support. Go Strikers.
Well, you'll be emceeing the game anyway, so you'll be there.
Imagine if I was emceeing, I'm like, you're shit.
Jarrod, that's your daughter.
You are good.
Move your feet.
Go through the multi, please.
Okay, so we learned our lesson, but we made a few tweaks from week 1.
Yeah.
So we said we're going to condense it to 5 legs rather than just going willy-nilly and having, 7 to 10 like we were going to. And we're going to be a little bit more choosy on the legs that we put through.
Yep.
Okay, so the first one was the total points under 120.5.
That was close, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, it blew out in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
St Kilda kicked a lot of late goals.
Yeah, okay.
Jack Steele to get 20 or more.
Now, he had 18 at halftime. So we knew by the second quarter it was pretty good.
We were pretty comfortable with that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Taylor Walker to score 2 or more goals.
Yeah, he kicked 2 in the first quarter, so you already ticked that one off and you go, we got nothing to worry about. At that point, we were feeling pretty good about ourselves.
Well, you were messaging me thinking this is going to absolutely hit.
I was so excited. I was like, what could we spend the $135 on? I was so excited.
He was excited. Matt Crouch to get 20 or more.
He had 16 or 18 at halftime as well. Easy.
And then Adelaide to win.
I led that. That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was, like I said, it was only really the last 5 minutes of the game where that was crossed off and not a real chance to win.
Yeah, I know. It's just disappointing because the whole time I was playing hockey, I was wondering how the multi was going. Like, I even asked the umpire, I'm like, do you know who won the footy?
But you know what, though? I think that's what's appealing about these same-game multis is I don't go for St Kilda, I don't go for the Crows. But if you've got a multi on that game, you invest yourself into it. It makes it exciting to watch.
Yeah, it does, but it's also gambling.
It is gambling.
So, I mean, you're trying to sell that part to us as well.
No, not really. Well, yeah, I am.
yeah. Matty's like, yeah, that multi we didn't get, but the other 47 I put on this weekend did all right. Yeah.
Well, no, they didn't. The other 5 I lost. So,
all right. So this weekend we'll go back to Port. Port playing St Kilda on Saturday night at Adelaide Oval.
More St Kilda. So there you go. There's a chance for our listeners to go to school on St Kilda. And there was, look, I'm going to put my hand up here. There was a couple of legs that were mentioned to us by our listeners that we didn't run with, and they hit.
Okay.
So
was Hutto one of them?
No, Hutto wasn't.
So Hutto's band's done.
He's back.
He's back.
In.
All right,
Yeah,
Hutto,
so
if you're listening, you are back in. Okay, so Andy, what we're going to try and do, I reckon, because we're now $20 down. We originally were up because we thought Arsenaldo bought
This
t-shirts.
is why you got me involved in the show, so I hand over some cash.
Free it up, Andy.
So what we're thinking, because we're $20 down, and I think, and I'm not the expert at this, but I think we need to go for the easiest multi ever to try and make our $20 back.
Okay.
So
you reckon take away trying to make a big profit, and let's just pick something that's going to
just so we can celebrate. If we make $4, we can celebrate.
Gotcha. Yep.
So 5 legs still, but we need them to be really obvious ones.
Okay.
And does that mean we avoid going the team that's going to win?
Yeah, I think we stay away from head-to-heads, definitely.
Okay, so we need 5 legs of obvious things that will happen. For example,
The teams roll up.
there you go. There you go. Travis Boak, like 15 touches plus again.
Yeah.
That could be one.
Yep.
However, because I was the one that stuffed up with a head-to-head, I'm suspended for a week.
You're done.
I'm out for a week.
You're going to leave our decision
You
up
have
to
to
me and
work
Andy.
up. You two have to work out the one leg out of the 5 that we're putting on.
Yep.
And then the listeners can do that as well. And you're going to have, because it's a Thursday now, you have about 24 hours to come up with it.
Yeah.
But don't take the piss. Like, we're trying, the whole idea about this multi, after we get this one out of the way and make $4, we want to make money and like put it behind the bar so we can get our listeners and have a couple of drinks with them. So there's actually a good method behind this.
Yes, they're right. It's not just a profit-making.
Yeah, and if when that
operation.
happens, we can do like a live podcast at the venue while having a couple of drinks with our listeners. So we want this. This is the people's multi.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, we want people to take it seriously because they're going to benefit from it.
Yeah. Now, considering the only AFL player Andy knows is Dustin Fletcher, this is going to be really interesting to see who he wants to go well in the multi.
Can you run me through that story? Why is Dustin Fletcher your...
Oh, he's like mum's my second cousin or something.
Oh, okay, so there's a relation there.
Yeah.
How good is
I
that?
didn't know that. That's amazing.
You want another one?
Yeah.
All right. Jarrod Crouch from the Swans.
Okay, yep.
Cousin. That's about it.
And you beat... so you guys
Beat Japan. Ni hao. And I was Chinese, guys, all right?
I have this. I went to Shanghai last year for Port, and so apparently you say like thank you in Chinese is 谢谢. So you say 谢谢, right? And you got to say it. You say it in the most respectful way ever, because I find that like countries that you go to, you try to learn their language as authentic as possible because that's your responsibility. You're in their country, but I didn't know, so I'm going. See ya, and then looking at me like, oh, and I'm in the Nike store, so I want to buy this t-shirt. See ya, and it was horrific.
I just remember every time we come back from those trips for about 6 months, ni hao. You'd be down the hallway and you just, ni hao.
So all right, so come up with the. I'm about to cough. There's no cough button. Hold on. I'm back.
It worked.
Okay. So multi.
Yeah, multi.
Give us a leg. You need to drive this one, Matty and Andy. You need to give a thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever you think. Okay. So we need an achievable one. So we're thinking a player around 15 possessions or a player to kick multiple goals.
So my question here is, do you pick these through an app and they only give you certain things you can choose?
Yeah, so it's through Sportsbet.
Okay.
The app. So and they give you the list of players and what those odds are. Okay. So Travis Boak to hit 15 or more possessions paying $1.07, which is bugger all. That's as obvious as you can get, pretty much. Which is fine.
I'm suspended.
Which is fine.
You got to talk to Andy about this.
Which is fine. So, we can choose that one, or we can add one with a bit more value, or obviously the less chance of it hitting, the higher that.
Was there anything going for 80 cents?
No, it won't.
so that's a definite.
You lose money on that.
Yeah, but that's not the goal. It's definite.
You to put that on. So, look, Travis Boak's the obvious one.
Yeah.
Obviously, St Kilda are playing as well. So they've got a couple of guys in the low dollars that will get 15 or more possessions. So we can go really, really conservative here if we want to.
Yeah, you want to start off slow and steady, don't you?
Yeah,
to make sure you get some wins on the board.
We don't want to keep dropping $10 a week.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm going to go for our leg. We're going to go Jack Steele to hit 15 or more possessions.
Yeah, and so Steele played pretty well against the Crows on Monday night. Kicked a goal, didn't he?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. You don't really know.
No, I don't know.
You sounded confident.
Yes, he kicked a goal.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay. So Jack Steele. All right.
Yeah.
We'll put that on. What's our social media?
At Best Team Men.
Yeah.
Facebook.com/Best Team Men.
Thank you very much. On Facebook as well, we've been supporting the Port Pirates, and it's really disappointing to give the results for the last game that the boys played over the weekend. Look, we've been behind these boys from I was going to say day one, but it's probably day 18 days ago. Yep. And over the weekend, the seniors and the reserves and the under-18s lost to Modbury Vista. So the under-18s went down 1-0. The reserves went down 4-2.
It's a high-scoring game.
Upton and Allchurch scored. So well done, Allchurch. He sounds like a pretty Catholic guy. And in the seniors, 2-1. And the goal scorer, our boy, the Skeff.
He's on fire. Is that
3
the last
weeks in a row.
games?
3 weeks in a row, the Skeff has scored. We got to try and connect with the Skeff. Port Pirates, if you're listening, we need a playing shirt with Skeff's number on it.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Let's interview him.
I'd love to interview him.
We'll interview him. We'll get his number and we'll ring
Or we could go to the game, because I go to the games and you say you're going to, and then you pull out,
and I bail.
which is really disappointing. So
Maybe Matty can come up with a chant for Skeff.
That's funny you say that, because I was thinking, why don't we come up with, obviously soccer chants and stuff like that. Why don't we come up with some for these players?
okay, All right.
Not right now, but we'll
Skeff, we love Skeff. Modbury Vista, they're on meth. Is that right?
Wow. Wow. Well, I mean,
Not bad. It's all right.
that's a good start.
that's very good on the spot stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a freestyle rapper.
Actually, well, I was kind of thinking maybe we'll plan them and then come back.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, it's a good idea to do that. We'll go check them out at their next home game. When I say we, I probably just mean myself.
Yeah.
Now, Triple M. You had a story about Triple M because I told what happened with Gretel Colleen last week, and how I wrote a book saying you can go and fuck yourself.
Well, it's Triple M/SAFM at the time. Okay, it's more to do with the whole street team thing. I had a lot of spare time when I was full time music and DJing and stuff like
Sorry,
that.
sounds like someone's fucking in the
Yeah,
background.
what is going on next door?
some sort of like room next door where
Yeah. It's cheap rent here, guys.
And if you are interested in podvertising so we can move out of this studio,
They probably think we're laughing at them.
yes, we are.
All right, we'll go harder.
Oh, so I had a lot of spare time when I was full time DJing and music and all that sort of stuff. And my brother at the time was on the breakfast show at SAFM.
Yeah.
And he said, "Why don't you come in and do some street team stuff?" And I thought, yeah, why not? You know, like we were saying last week, the icy cold cans of Coke and Black Thunders, I think it was back then. They were driving around in the four-wheel drive. And yeah, I thought, why not? I'll jump in. It'll give me some work to do during the week and a bit of extra money. And it was for both SAFM and Triple M. There was a Thursday night event. You ever have those moments where something happens and you sit back and you're like, where am I at in life?
Every day?
Yeah. So there was a Thursday night event and it was first or second shift for SAFM at the time. And my role was to look after Luke Jacobs and the Veronicas.
Yeah.
Basically, client liaise, I guess you could call it, with them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, this was actually ironically at the Glenelg Pier. So at the end of the night, I had to look after and basically get them back to their hotel. And Luke Jacobs turned around and said, "I'm not done yet. Let's go out for a beer."
Yeah, right.
I said, "Oh, all right."
Was he on Home and Away at the time?
X Factor host.
X Factor, yeah.
Anyway,
Lee Harding, Wasabi. I was Australian Idol, sorry.
Go guys, smash.
being a Thursday night, there was
the young divas.
a night. Being a Thursday night, there was a night called.
Not letting you in the story, are we? Sorry.
Oh, this has lost its steam. There was a night called
Scandalous, me, myself, and I. All right, go.
I've lost my rhythm.
No, you with bloody
Thursday
Sam
night.
Jacobs. Yeah.
Luke Jacobs and the Veronicas. And we've gone to Electric Circus. They had a night running called The Projects on a Thursday night.
Oh, Peter Hellier hosted that. We carry a bit more.
This is going to be the longest. This story is not even going to be funny now.
We'll make it funny.
Oh, yeah, you'll make it funny because it's just lost its steam.
No, I like it. So, I need to respect your story. You're with Sam Jacobs and Veronica Vaughan, so hot, want to touch the hiney. Oh! And you've gone to Electric Circus to watch The Project.
That's
Wow, you remember everything. That was amazing.
You weren't even there. Oh, what does this become? Anyway, I'm at Electric Circus and we're at the Projects. Luke Jacobs and Veronicas. They're drinking. I'm not because it's my responsibility to drive them back to their hotel.
Yeah, you got a station vehicle with you, or you've gone your car now?
I'm in my car now. Okay. So because it's after hours, the event's done.
Yes.
So it's my car. Projects closes at 4:00 in the morning. They're still not done. Let's go back to your place.
Oh,
Oh, all right, okay.
all right.
Go back to my house, my personal house. I'm living here.
Your personal house.
Personal house.
Yeah. I mean, what other type of house is there?
Well, it's not a business house, is it? So we're in my house. It's 4:00 in the morning. They're drinking. It's getting a bit loud and rowdy.
Yeah.
And my housemates come down. They've been woken up. It's 4:00.
Lids
has come
Yeah.
down. And he's a massive X Factor watcher at the time. And he can't believe it. So I probably shouldn't say this, but anyway, he's come down at 4:00 in the morning and started having a beer.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's fine. The next morning, what I forgot to mention was the next morning I had to be for Triple M, I had to be at a tyre opening store
Would have been a tyre power, I'm guessing.
Not tires. I can't remember the name. Of
You would have been really tired the next day. Sorry. Oh, no, that joke really deflated you. Yeah. This story had heaps of traction as well, mate.
That was a good one. That went under the radar, but it was a good one.
No, I'm done. My story's done.
No, yeah, you got the tyre power thing the next day.
Yeah, and then anyway, it's just I had to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I dropped Luke Jacobs in the Veronica's off, went straight there, and I was blowing up Dr. Dan, and I'm like, "Where's my life at?" And that was the story. I had a way better way to tell it, but it's flattened out.
No, that was good.
Oh, flattened out tyre joke. Yeah. Are you flat now?
I'm flat.
Why?
Because I've lost my train of thought.
I think I ruined the story.
No, well, it was still funny, but it wasn't the way I intended.
Why are you on your phone? Are we boring you now?
No, because I'm getting my notes up. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
I mean,
right. That's the last time I tell a story on this podcast.
oh God, we haven't really had a fight before on the podcast, but
So I roll up, and then all of a sudden you go, Mummy and Daddy are fighting.
I know you really flat like the tyre place you went to. So I'll hold on to something for next round. I want you to think about over the next 7 days the most annoying sounds in the world. Because I heard people eating on radio over the weekend, and it has absolutely ruined me.
I listened to it too, and you're right. It was you could hear it.
It's disgusting.
Did they do it on purpose, or was it just...
I thought that as well. I thought maybe they were doing it on purpose because it was so obvious.
I don't know, but it was horrific. So have a think about the most annoying noises in the world. We'll talk about that next round. Let's put 2 names on the plaque before we go into how many games have you played. I think we need to put on Andy Martin on the plaque.
Andy's
Thanks.
on, yes.
Con Brighton Trophy Centre. We've got to email you all these names, mate, but you are on, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
Who are you
Do you
putting on
want
this?
to speak? Oh, okay.
No, it's fine.
We're going to put James Brock on, Glenn's lawyer, Glenn Aikman's lawyer.
Okay.
So he's on. He's been a listener from the very start.
Why did Glenn need a lawyer?
Glenn's dodgy.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
dodgy.
Glenn used to tell people, come and do your event at my establishment, and they're rocked up and the
was
doors
no
were chained. Like, hey, the doors are locked, you can't have your thing. Just as a side note, we kept your deposit. Good luck, happy wedding. Anyway, shout out Glenn. Let's do how many games have you played?
And now it's everybody's favorite game. How many games have you played?
So this game is literally as it sounds. We feel that we've got a good knowledge of AFL players and the amount of games that they have played in their career. So we go back and forth. Andy, you just jump in and you do random guesses because one day you're going to win and it's going to be hilarious. So we love that you do that. So I will say a player's name and Matt will guess how many games they've played. If they get within 20, they get a point. We go back and forth. We have 5 names. So last week I won 5-3.
Yeah.
And maybe it was 4-3. And then the week before you got the win, Matty. So
It's 1-1.
it's 1-1. I'm going to start here with a guy who did some work experience at Nova, and his nickname is Powerade Bottle, Sean McKernan.
Powerade bottle.
Yeah.
Run me through that.
I don't want to get too graphic, but if you shower with him... Sean McKernan.
He played at the Crows. He played at the Crows.
Oh, he's got the 3-litre one. Yeah.
Can I please have the skin-coloured Powerade?
He's played at the Crows in Essendon.
Yeah, he has, mate.
He's played a lot more at Essendon, I feel. 86.
Geez, you're close. 83. Well done. You get a point.
Start.
Well done, mate.
Now, he's been compared to Dusty this week.
Oh, yeah.
Christian Petrarca.
So he's been around for about 5 or 6 years, I reckon, but I don't think he's played 100 games. I reckon he's played 90.
85.
Oh, yeah.
Our first 2 were pretty much right on the
Justin Murphy.
Justin Murphy.
Yeah, so he's played for a couple of clubs. He finished his career at Essendon. He was at Geelong. He was at
Carlton.
Richmond and Carlton as well.
So he's had a lot of clubs.
He's had a lot of clubs, mate. Yeah.
All clubs in Hindley Street.
Yeah, not bad from you.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good, really good. Yeah.
Cheers. He played over 200, I reckon. 230.
You were closer with your first half guess. He played 185.
Damn it. Always go with your gut. Brownlow medalist, Matt Priddis.
Oh, Matt Priddis. Is he still playing? No, he's done. He's done, isn't he? I reckon he played about 230. How many games do you reckon he played? He had like 2-minute noodle hair.
Oh, that guy? Oh,
Yeah.
like 240 then?
240.
You're right, Jarrod. You're right.
That is amazing. How did you do that?
You're more than welcome.
That is phenomenal.
Okay.
And that is completely unscripted for anyone
Yeah,
that thinks we
is
might
brilliant.
set that up.
Actually have no idea who the guy is.
Yeah.
You give yourself a tick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Chris Laddams,
Essendon and Crows. 140.
54.
Oh,
Way
generous.
off.
David Schwartz.
David Schwartz, he was a Melbourne player, and favourite song was Kenny Rogers' The Gambler. I reckon he was in the twos as well, I reckon he played 282.
173.
Oh, it's my turn.
Sure, yeah.
Travis Varco.
Travis Varco, Geelong and Collingwood. I reckon he's around the 170 mark, 172.
What do you reckon, Andy?
Ooh, 193.
He played 224. Andy's closest again.
Jack Hudson's mate, Todd Marshall.
Todd Marshall hasn't played 50 games. He's played 27.
Andy?
46.
23.
Oh, yeah, I'll get a point for that. I'm going to win this one again, by the way.
You are.
Matthew Primus.
Fitzroy and Port. Missed a few with knees, I reckon. 210.
What do you reckon, Andy?
I'm going to go 163.
Andy's closest again. 157.
What is football?
Have you got one more for me? Or is that
I
it?
do know. I've got one more, even though I can't win.
Yeah.
Rory Atkins.
Rory Atkins, the rat. 103.
97.
Oh, I've done well.
You've
4-1.
hammered me.
Game over.
I need to do some work on this.
I reckon this has been a fun round.
It
What
has
do you
been a
think?
fun round. Yeah, agree.
Yeah, we might have to edit a little bit out, but
My story gone.
no, that's great. That was a great story.
Oh, it would have been if I got to tell it.
No, it was a good story. Had merit. Had merit.
Yeah, had a bit of Zach Merritt about it. No, it was a good story.
Well, it would have been. It had potential if you hadn't let me tell it.
Okay, so question.
Yeah.
Just for our benefit. If we didn't interrupt it, how would you have finished it? By going, oh yeah, so anyway, came down, had a beer, and that's the end of the story.
See you guys next week.
Ozcast.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.